Hi, this is Joe with LocalBizMKE. I'm here with Mike Zaffiro of Zaffiro's Restaurant, and we're just going to talk a little bit about your story. And you got a really entertaining story for us, and I just wanted to get it out there and help share it.
Sure.
So, Mike, you said you've been in business for 65 years.
Right. My father started making pizzas actually in 1954.
Okay.
He had a tavern in the old Third Ward in Milwaukee and Jackson in Buffalo called the Rockabye Tap. And him and my Uncle John started making pizzas there. I believe it was in May of 1954.
Okay. What was the scene like in Milwaukee in that time?
I wasn't there. Yeah. But the Third Ward was a predominantly Italian neighborhood.
Okay.
And a lot of bars and restaurants at that time, from what I understand. And my dad had a bar, and he'd gone out east, took a vacation with his friend and my uncles, and we saw how big pizza was out east. So when he came back, he started messing around with figuring out a crust. He started everything from the crust.
Right.
And he wanted,
foundation of everything.
Yeah, and he worked very hard on it, from what I understand, and my mother telling me, and came up with the crust that we're still using today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's such a weird concept that that pizza is not a universal thing. Like, for that to be that way, it's just very interesting.
Very interesting. Well, they call it the tavern pizza, which is Milwaukee. A lot of places had that, but not many people have it as thin as we had it.
Right. So what's the difference between a tavern pizza and just a restaurant style pizza?
I just think it's the Milwaukee style, the thin crust.
Sure.
Everywhere else is pretty much thicker. I mean, you get a lot of places in Milwaukee though that have relatively thin crust.
Right. So when your dad started it, how long he was running the business for up until about the 80s, right?
Right. He passed away in 1989, and he worked all the way to the day he died.
That's
Well, he was 66. He was young, but that was 1989.
Yeah. So when did you start working in the business then?
Probably when I was about 13, 14 years old.
What were you doing?
Washing dishes, making pizzas, stuff like that. At that time, it was just this room. That dining room behind us was a barber shop at that time until 1970.
Okay.
And then my dad went to that side of the building.
Nice.
And so this bar was put in 1970.
So then in 1989 you took over ownership with your brother, you said,
my
right?
My brother and my mother.
Uh-huh.
And been going ever since.
Nice. 30 years strong.
Yeah.
31, going on 31 years, right? What kind of changes have you seen in Milwaukee since then?
Well, this is a very changing neighborhood, and it's always been a changing neighborhood.
Sure.
A pretty nice neighborhood to be in also. It's an eclectic side of town, to say the least.
Absolutely.
And it goes through changes, but to me it's kind of like it always was. I mean, you have just the combination of so many different people.
Right.
From so many different economic situations everybody's down here and having a good time. It's a really good side of town.
Yeah, definitely. I've lived in this side of town for several years. I currently do now, and I absolutely agree. It's
a nice side of town.
It's underrated. It's kind of like a little hidden gem as far as national cities are concerned.
Right.
I was over in Pennsylvania not too long ago, and people were talking about their ocean views and their stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know, I live a block from Lake Michigan.
Yeah, and you can't tell it's not an ocean.
Yeah, you can't see the other side. It might as well be an ocean, right?
That's right.
I didn't think anybody would get it though. They're just like, oh, you live on a lake, big deal.
It's a big lake.
Yeah, it is. It's quite impressive. So what is, to be in business for that long, you gotta be doing something right, obviously. What would you say is?
It's the quality of the pizza. That's I mean, it's not a fancy joint. It's kind of looked like it's always looked. We try to keep it that way. People don't want too much change, so we try to keep it as authentic as possible. but it's the pizza that keeps bringing people back.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very good pizza. And it's one of my favorites in town.
We've been blessed. We really have. We've got great clientele too. I mean, we've got, I don't know how many generations we're on, but I'll tell you, I can remember, you know, at the time when my father first put it in, my dad had a lot of Marquette people coming to his bar in the Third Ward. Third Ward was a pretty a lot of action in that side of town at that time. And we got a lot of guys that were from Marquette that have been, you know, well now they're passing, but their grandchildren are coming in, and in some cases their great grandchildren are coming in. I mean, I've seen
Legacy
families.
restaurants, huh?
I've seen families literally grow up from where the parents are in here going out dating to where now they're coming in with their grandchildren, and it's
That's gotta be a very surreal feeling.
it's a very, very uplifting feeling. And,
Yeah.
you know, it keeps me knowing that we're still doing something right. My father said, just never change the recipes. That's about the only time I ever listened to him.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, we went,
Yeah, that is great. What is it, do you think, besides quality of food is obviously the most important thing in a restaurant, but like what is it do you think that keeps either people coming back to your restaurant, or what is it about, you know, when you go out to other places, like what do you keep coming back to that brings you back to it? What do you think is the most important?
the food, number
Sure,
one.
of
You've got
course.
to have the food, but then it's the comfortability that you have at a place.
Right.
And, you know, people like that. People like to know what they're going into, what they're going to be eating, who's going to be serving them. And I think it's a combination of a lot of things, but I do believe you have to have something to bring them in,
Sure.
and that's the food.
Yeah.
And if you like the food, you're going to keep going back. That's how I am.
Absolutely.
I mean, I very seldom go to new places
Right.
because I'm so entrenched in old places that I go to. And I like it the way it is at these places. And you're comfortable with it. You know the people, you
Yeah.
know.
It's a comfort level for sure, and knowing them, you know, just kind of, I think the authenticity of it too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you walk into Zaffiro's and you're like, yeah, this feels authentic.
This
Like,
is it.
This is true to form.
I mean,
This is-
the sink for the bathroom's outside. You don't have many joints like that in the city.
there aren't too many, but
No,
yeah.
you know, we're talking about grandfather. Yeah, we're grandfather big time.
Yeah, that is very true. So, you know, with decades in the business, there have to have been a lot of impressive people coming through, and like celebrities and that sort of thing. Do you have any like celebrity stories or?
Well, we've had a lot of local celebrities coming in here over the years. I know years ago, my father, Ralph Capone, who was Al Capone's brother, used to always stop at my father's place before he'd go up to his place up in Mercer, I believe it was.
Really?
And yeah, he was an early customer. We had a lot of athletes over the years. I know Sandy Koufax was in here in the '60s. A lot of the brewer managers, politicians, a lot of different politicians, a lot of people over the years. I mean, I've got a wide range to go from.
Of course, yeah.
You know, I started tending bar in 1974, and I stopped tending bar about 5 years ago.
Oh wow.
So a lot of people have come through here.
What made you stop tending?
Well, I'm getting old.
Just-
First of all, it's pretty much a young man's. Although all my bartenders are over 60, pretty much. Well, except for one of them. Yeah, he's younger. But that's the other thing too with help. I've had help here I've been truly blessed with the help I had.
Yeah.
At first, you know, when we first started out, it was primarily a family. My father, my uncle, me and my brother. And my cousin Michael came for a while, was working with us for a while. That was my Uncle John's son. And I've got one bartender who's been here almost 30 years.
Wow.
I've had waitresses that have been here 30 years. My sister-in-laws, both of them worked here for at least 25, 30 years. My wife worked here a lot when she was younger. and she had some back issues, and she had to retire from waitressing. But as we've grown, we had to go outside the family naturally.
Sure.
Because we're running out of people in the family, and but I've been blessed. I've got a terrific kitchen staff that's unbelievable, and I think that getting back to how things come together, that's huge too. Your employees.
Yeah, the company culture.
It is. It's huge.
Absolutely.
And
that can make or break a company from
right,
the inside out, for sure.
Right. We pretty much all get along here. We have, especially when you're growing up with family, you have your differences and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's a pretty cool place to work, I think.
I would imagine.
Yeah. I mean, they stay long.
Yeah, anytime you work at a company for 30 years, you get people
Yeah.
working for you for that long, it's got to be a good place to work, right?
Right.
It's pretty easy to get fed up with your
Yeah,
boss or your
yeah.
coworkers, and especially these days, get up and go. So what are some of the challenges that you do face as in current day as a business
Well,
owner?
actually, the economy's been good, and I've seen this economy go. I mean, I've been here a long time.
Yeah.
I've only run it for 30 years, but I've been here 40, 50 years. And you notice with the economy, how good the economy's doing. It's just a natural thing, and the economy's been very, very good the last few years, and business is trending up.
That's good.
That's perfect. You probably have another low, it comes and it goes. But then again, it gets back to, even in slow times, a pizza's pretty reasonable. I mean, you can go out
Feed a
and
family
feed
for
a family for
$20.
$40 at the most with drinks.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's pretty nice. It's kind of a recession-proof food.
It's about as close as it gets, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So was there ever a time when you were concerned that, it just might not make it through?
Oh, sure. There's
plenty of
times.
times, but
There's plenty. You think back in this business too, and on this side of town, parking is pretty. It's pretty much at a premium.
Yeah.
We have a parking lot in the backs. We can only get maybe 8 cars in there.
yeah,
But then again, too, with the millennial generation or the younger generation, they Uber pretty much anywhere they want to go. That's actually, I think, helped in the restaurant business, especially
Sure.
on this side of town,
absolutely.
because there is no parking on this side of town.
Right.
And when you throw winter into it,
Yep.
there's really no parking.
There's no
on this
parking and there's a lot of drinking.
side. A lot of drinking.
So that
A lot of people should be walking
Exactly.
or Ubering.
exactly there is I think that is a definite plus for restaurant businesses in particular.
Oh,
is
yeah.
The rise of Uber and Lyft, even.
I think it's been great. I really do. I mean, years ago, if you didn't have parking in the city of Milwaukee, you were pretty much,
Yeah.
you're really behind the 8 ball. Except in this side of town. Everything's built up here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And even
and
lately,
you're
too, they built,
within
like-
walking distance,
Yeah.
you have a lot of people,
Absolutely. They're building more.
which is
every
nice.
day.
Yeah.
That's definitely got to be helpful.
The location part works with that.
Yep. It's a solid place, solid location for sure. I don't know. It's about that's all the questions I had for you. Is there anything else you might want to add? Any?
Well, the clientele over the years is pretty. It's pretty funny at this bar. The people that you would have at any one time that would be here, comes from various different backgrounds, and it's pretty much people in it. They're all cool together.
Yeah.
Everybody and just the people I've met in this business have been unbelievable,
Absolutely.
and a lot of great customers over the years.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
bet. So I guess just one parting thought. What of everything on the menu, what is your favorite?
Pizza.
What kind of pizza?
I like cheese, sausage, and onion.
Cheese, sausage, onion pizza. All right.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, that's. Thank you for sitting down with me today. This has been great.
It's quick though, isn't it?
It's it was a little quick. But
We could go longer if you want.
if you got more stories, if you got more.
I got some. Well, it's kind of hard to think of them when they're coming in, but just I know this. We've had 3 people married in there.
Really?
3 couples in there. Yeah, there's been
Like they've
3.
held their actual
They've
wedding
held their
in there?
actual weddings in there.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
What was there anything special that you guys did for him? Like
No, we
did
didn't.
you like decorate the place for him or anything?
No,
or-
2 of the 3, we didn't even know it was going to happen.
Really?
So okay, I was in the back. One of the waitress goes, somebody's getting I said, what do you mean somebody's getting married? There's a couple in that restaurant and they're getting married. The judge was in there and everything. So that's different.
That is. I've never heard of that before.
No,
where they just come like, yeah, we're gonna get married and then we're gonna have pizza. I don't even tell them.
No,
Just hopefully we can get a table.
yeah, it's,
That is really cool. That's
I'm trying to think of some other.
That's a good wedding story for sure. Like, oh, what'd you guys do? Yeah,
Married in Zaffiro.
we do it.
Oh, come on, but no,
Yeah, we brought the judge in and everything. We sat down and then we had a drink with him.
right. Well, actually, one of the times one of the judges was a good customer.
Not bad.
And that's the one we knew that was happening.
Okay. All right, he gave you advance
He gave me
warning.
an advance.
Nice.
Yeah, Judge Wiedemeyer, great guy.
Very cool. What? I'm more curious about the Ralph Capone. I wanted to. When we talked earlier, you were pretty excited about that. You're like,
Well, that's one guy that, you know, I mean, that name is pretty well known.
yeah, you start throwing the Capone name around. It's
Yeah.
definitely it's
This is, well, actually, this is way after his brother, the famous one, died.
right.
But, and my dad said, I remember when we were really small, I think we went up to his bar. We went on vacation, and we were up in near Mercer. And I think we went to see if he was there. Because he would always stop in, have a pizza, and then continue driving up north.
Sure.
He had a bar up there. And he knew my dad enough to, you know, how you doing, Bobby, and everything like that. So, that was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to think politician. Well, Senator Cole. Senator Cole's been coming in here for years. Great guy. Yeah, it's. You've seen a lot of people. I can't. I just my brain right now is going. I'm trying to retrieve stories. But
Right.
after tending bar for 33 years,
I know, right?
those
It gets
stories
kind of blurred together.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to. If you had, I don't know, if you were to start all over again, how like what would you start with right now? Like if you had to.
Restaurant wise, or bar
Probably.
wise, I would say nowadays, if you're going to have a bar, you better have food.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the trends in drinking, especially in this town, has gone really down. I mean, it used to be, well, the big thing was this was always a third shift city. So you had action
Yeah.
going, you know, all the
6 a.m. bars.
all the restaurants were open till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now it's hard to find a restaurant that's open after midnight.
It's hard to find a place that serves food at that late. Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
And I just think with the drinking culture that it's not as prevalent as it used to be in town. If you opened a bar, I'd want to have food.
Yeah.
You don't have to go crazy, but at least something where you can get people in the door besides being another bar.
Yeah. I mean, you get the people who might be either drivers or just
Right.
looking to hang out.
Right.
That is interesting. The drinking culture kind of declining. Like that's something even I've noticed.
Oh, yeah,
And-
it's gone down big.
you know, it's 15 years of drinking maybe,
Right.
drinking age. Like I've even noticed it in my time where it seems like people are drinking less. They're into more, I don't want to say like fancier cocktails necessarily.
They are though.
Yeah.
Another thing. Well, when I first started tending bar, I was 18. The law was 18 at that time.
Yeah.
So you had the majority, the big push of the baby boomers that were my age, and you know, at 18 you're starting to go out.
Yeah.
You don't have that young clientele anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
You lost 3 years. You lost 3 years when the law went back to 21, and probably for the better, because it was this city was a really, we just like to drink here.
Yeah. I mean, in many ways, it's still that way. It seems that way.
Yeah,
Especially
it's a big part of the culture.
when you go elsewhere, they're just like, oh, what? You guys,
You know,
you drink?
people don't get it. They go to other cities.
You drink in the shower?
Well, you know, I mean, people just are amazed how many bars you have here.
Yeah,
And
it is kind of staggering.
there's a lot of bars in this town. You go to other cities, it's hard to find a bar in some cities.
Yeah, it is.
You don't have to look hard here. Walk out the door, look right or left, you see 2 bars.
Yeah, pretty much. You can be in like a suburban area
Sure.
too, and just like, oh, that's a house. No, that's
No,
actually a
it's
bar.
not.
They got the PBR sign sitting out front.
Yep.
You see that? That was fun. I think it's interesting though because, yeah, I do feel that a lot of people are interested in more like the craft cocktails and all that, but like, I think it's, at least in my experience working in bars and just kind of seeing them, like, it's cool to have on a menu. It's cool to read about it and have it, but like, I still feel like most people will look at it and be like, all right, give me a beer. Or give me, bourbon on the rock or
Oh,
something.
look at all that's changed. The beer.
The beer's ridiculous.
I mean, it's nuts.
It's absolutely
Every week they bring you a new beer to try. We don't have the space.
I tried keeping up. I tried to consider myself kind of a beer advocate for a while, and it was just exhausting.
Sure.
It's like, what? I can't.
They keep throwing it at you, and the poor salesmen are trying to sell you this stuff, and you got nowhere to put it.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first started, we had, what was it, Pabst Blatt's Special Export,
Ooh,
Ondecker, and Schlitz.
that's it. Yeah.
That was it.
Beer that made Milwaukee famous.
Yes, it did.
That is an interesting trend. That's probably a whole different discussion. In
Yeah,
general.
that's a whole different issue. Yeah.
But that's a fun one too because it's a bit ridiculous.
It's gotta be. I mean, I don't drink a lot, and I never was really a big beer drinker. But you gotta get confused. I mean,
Confused is a
beer,
good way to
beer,
put it.
and vodka. People, they're making a new vodka every week too.
Yeah, that one is also interesting. I was wondering, the liquor laws changed not too long ago to make it easier for craft distilleries to open up.
Right.
So that's why. I don't know what they were before that necessarily, but
I don't know, but that's a big venture to overtake to get into. I think they're starting to reach their saturation point too. The little, the breweries that are opening up. It's a lot of money, a lot of work.
yeah, definitely.
In a business that's a crapshoot, basically. You could have the greatest food in the world, and if you don't catch some breaks somewhere down the line, you're just not going to make it.
Yeah, that's what. Well, even as you said, like all the new breweries that are opening up. I mean, they all have food.
Yeah.
A lot of them have really good food too.
Right.
And that's almost the draw instead of the beer.
You have to be able to do that, I think. The culture of drinking just isn't the same as it used to be.
So you said opening most businesses, there's a lot of breaks. Like you catch
Oh,
them.
yeah.
Like what were some of the breaks that Zaffiro's caught?
I know the biggest break that my father always talked about. There was he got a write-up, a really good write-up in the Milwaukee Journal or Sentinel. I don't know which one it was. And it was a column called Ask Jamie, I believe it was. And this guy was a big writer for the paper. And he came in here and he liked the food. And that was the first time that we ever got any publicity in the paper about it.
Yeah.
And my father said that he noticed a little bump in that. And then we've been really lucky the last maybe 15 years. We've done this deal with Marcus, where our pizzas are in some of their theaters.
Oh wow.
I've checked in a lot of them. That's worked out really well.
Yeah.
That's been a great partnership with those people. And they've been really great about it. And we got a lot of publicity in the paper. We were named 70th best pizza in the country about a month and a half ago. We were inducted to the Pizza Hall of Fame a couple of years ago.
Nice. What is?
That's
Where's that located?
That's located in Indiana, of all things.
Okay.
It's just one of the big trade magazines,
Okay.
pizza magazines. They have their own little.
Nice.
I'm in the Hall of Fame.
There you go. You know, your picture on the wall.
Yeah,
and just-
yeah, that's what I guess it is. They sent us a plaque somewhere.
Okay. So with that the partnership with Marcus, that's curious about that. Has that benefited you more based off of just sales in the movie theaters or just promotion?
Oh, promotion-wise, it's
just
helped.
name exposure.
Name exposure.
Okay.
I could never, I mean, it's tough in a little place to advertise. Advertising costs a lot. Advertising costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
And if you only have one place, it's really, it's not economically benefit if you have one place. But more than one place, the advertising dollar goes longer.
Yeah.
Well, with these guys, by putting up their places, our name is at least, they open up at Miller Park now. They've got 2 stands at Miller Park. We've got 2 pizza stands through the Marcus Corporation at Miller Park. So, the name
That's
recognition.
3 million people walking past it every year, seeing the name. Yeah,
That's right.
For sure. And with especially at Miller Park, where people are pretty familiar with the fact that it's like, oh, these are the local restaurants. These are the best local restaurants here, and so you kind of see that.
Yeah.
Like, Zaffiro's. All right. Yeah.
That was very surprising to me that they did that. It's great.
Yeah. I can't imagine that would. You'd be upset about that.
No, no,
It wouldn't be.
not at all.
So, what other ways do you go about marketing?
Actually, the word of mouth. We have my wife and my niece run our social media part of it, which isn't big, but that gets the word out too.
Yeah.
But primarily it's been word of mouth through the years.
And great experience.
You've been around a long time.
Yeah, that's usually the best way.
Yeah.
It's the most, it's probably the least efficient way, but certainly the most reliable.
Right. Absolutely.
Someone likes the product and just, hey, here we go, we're doing this, and come on in.
Yep.
This is what you're gonna get. That's the way to do it.
We try to give everybody a nice experience when they're here. It's not a pressure place, it's definitely not fine dining, but
no, it's a fun place. I love coming here. I've come here on multiple dates. Had our family Christmas party ordered from here, and decorate the Christmas tree and all that. It was a great experience. It's good.
Yeah.
Good time.
I'll tell you, bring that up. Our to-go. That's what I've read about this new generation. Our to-goes are getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
We're doing more takeout than we've ever done.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. I just think a lot of the younger people just don't go out like they used to. They'd rather have some friends over. And because our takeout has really grown over the last, I'd say, 5 years. It's almost doubled.
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Has that presented any challenges at all, trying to adapt to that?
No. The challenge that I might have to face next would be, we deliver for lunches, primarily because of downtown. We get, they're bigger orders.
Yeah, for sure.
And, but I would think the only next step that we would have here would be to start delivering at night. And I really don't see that in the foreseeable future. But with times changing, that's what that would be the next thing that we would do.
Sure. Through like getting your own delivery drivers, or not partnering with Uber Eats or DoorDash or anything like that.
No. Our own delivery. They do some now with some people pick up their pizzas. I don't know if it's DoorDash or if it's Uber Eats or there's so many of them.
I know.
You don't know.
It's another saturation thing.
Right,
I don't know. I've hardly even used any of them.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
If I get delivery of anything, their own people delivering. I'm
Right.
not going to pay that extra money that they. I mean, it almost.
What?
They charge us money. They charge.
Right. Like
So-
they make most of that money from the
Yeah.
restaurants actually,
Right.
and they charge a little bit extra delivery fee
Right.
for the drivers. So it's basically just an advertising,
That's
similar advertising for the restaurants. It's kind of how they sell it, I think.
right.
Which I don't know. I guess.
I've talked to a few of the companies that do that, and I just, as long as people still coming in here to pick stuff up,
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody say, "Oh, you should deliver, you should deliver, you should deliver."
Yeah.
But that would be the next step that I would do if I did anything that.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a reasonable next step, I would think.
Right.
But I mean, it's clearly doing most things right.
Yeah, well.
Hard to say everything, but
Yeah.
you know, it's not, it's great. I mean, everything's going well.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I'm happy with the business. Love the customers. My employees are all great. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's the American dream, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, get your own business, running things the way you want to do it, and
Yeah,
having success at it.
right.
It's really good to hear.
Yeah. That's been, yeah, it's, well, I tell you, time goes quick.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, before you know it. Yeah, I'm kind of fortunate. I've got my son is interested in this business. So maybe he'll continue with it. He's still young, he's only 18 years old. And my daughter too, so who knows what that'll bring. But,
It's encouraging for sure.
well, they both work here, which is nice.
Oh, okay.
So,
And it's all good.
yeah, so who knows where this goes.
What is, I guess, yeah, at least one more question here. What is the, from going to someone who went from like washing dishes and just kind of sweeping floors and everything, what is the best way to learn, to go from that to running a business?
Well, see, actually, my father died of a massive heart attack. We didn't even know he was sick. So, my mind wasn't in to run a joint at that time. And then you had to learn. I had to learn. But after you're here you're here your whole life, you kind of know what has to be done.
What was the biggest surprise, I guess? You went from just working in it to kind of running it.
The amount of paperwork.
Yeah.
That's what it all is. God, there's a lot of stuff behind scenes that people don't realize.
Right.
What goes on,
For sure.
my father always used to say, they come in the door and they look at the cash register and they see that thing opening and opening and opening. They don't see when you take the money out and you gotta pay everybody. And that's the truth.
The amount of bills, I would imagine, is probably staggering.
Yeah, you got a nice sized payroll, then nothing's cheap anymore.
Right.
Everything costs.
Yeah.
And I've always maintained though too. If you keep a place small and you keep it busy, you're gonna be in good business.
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys make a mistake. They try to get bigger,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes you just get yourself right out of the business.
Yeah. For sure.
You got to keep your overhead low. You have to. It's just that's the tricky part. Is all the red tape that goes on.
Right.
And nobody sees that, but it's part of every business.
Yep.
It always looks good. I want to open up my own restaurant. I'll see on a Saturday night when everybody's busy. Oh, this is great. Well, you got a lot of Mondays and Tuesdays, and there's nobody in the
Yeah,
joint.
you're sitting there and they're still paying. Still paying
Yep, they're still paying for everything.
Yep, for sure. That's something I think a lot of people would find shocking and any business.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just-
great. And in restaurant business, you know, especially here, you're slave to the weather also.
Yeah.
We've been very fortunate this year to be going into the first week of January, and there's no snow on the ground,
Yeah.
which is great for us because, like I said, there's no parking around here in July. But believe me, it's worse in January. if there's
Absolutely.
snow.
Yeah.
And it's just so many little things have to fall into piece and fall into the right places to, I think, to have a place succeed beyond what they ever thought, imagined it would be. And to tell you the truth, I never imagined it to be as good as it is for as long as it's been.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I never thought of that until you started running it. Then you started thinking, boy, oh boy, I had to learn a whole lot of different things, and it worked out okay though. Yeah.
That's good. That's very good. That's about it. That's all I got. Is there anything? What's the best way to get in touch with you or the business, or what's people are looking to learn more about Zaffiro's? What can they do?
Go to our website, zaffirospizza.com. We have a nice website that my brother-in-law put together.
Okay.
As far as coming to eat, just come in any time between 11 and 11. Actually, now that we have our winter hours. So open at 11 in the morning, close at 10 at night, and then 12 on Friday and Saturdays.
All right. Well, thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Joe. It's been a pleasure.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
All right.
Wish you the best of luck for
Thank
the
you. I
future.
really appreciate this. This was nice.
All right.